Hey, welcome back to Stewman Rides. We're doing another instructional video here today, and today we have a special guest. We have two-time national champion and two-time world endurance champion, Jason Pridmore. He's going to talk a little bit about body position, yeah, he's going to talk about body position.
Is that what we're doing here, right?
That's smooth, right? Take it away, Jason.
Thanks. You know, I think when you talk about body position nowadays, there's just so many things there's so many different points of views that people will discuss. And for me, I've based my body position off of three things pretty much my entire career. And the stuff that we teach, you know, is we try to keep things simple. You got to realize that there's a number of different people that we see, from beginning level riders to expert people that want to go on and try to make a living riding a motorcycle. But for me, it all basically revolves around three words. Number one is I want to load the bike properly. Whatever I can do to load the bike properly is going to give me more comfort, it's going to give me more feel, it's going to give me a direction as far as even kind of setups go. Second thing is, I mentioned it, I want to be comfortable on a bike. I see a lot of people get put into positions where they're just not comfortable. Or you'll get street riders that feel that they have to do something different from the street to the track. They come to the track and all of a sudden everything they do changes. But it's not really unique to them. They've got to figure out what's going to be comfortable for them. So for me, getting the bike loaded, being comfortable. Being comfortable is key. The last thing is being efficient. Being efficient on a bike, to me, sometimes means that it's not going to look as good for the camera, but it's going to be something that's going to make it to where if I wanted to put a full tank of fuel in my bike, I can go out and ride for a full hour at a pace that I like to ride, which is hopefully kind of still fast, even though I'm getting a little bit older and fatter. So anyways, when I look at those three things, I always look at the cockpit of a bike and I think this is kind of the office that I was able to operate in for my life. I mean, riding a motorcycle for me has afforded me the possibilities to do so many things. But I think one of the reasons that I'm still able to ride and still been able to stay efficient and productive on a bike is because of the way I look at things. Sitting on a bike, for me, I've never been a guy that likes to sit far back on the seat. I always felt like the further up I sit on the seat, the more load I can get up on that front tire to help the bike turn. I also always liked my arms to be a little bit bent. And whenever I sat back on the seat a little bit, it always extended my arms. And I'll get to the reason why I don't like that in a minute, okay? So when I'm sitting on a bike, it's just like I'm going to the store. This is comfortable to me, okay? If you look at any top rider, how they start when they roll out of the pits or they do anything else, they're comfortable. I once had a guy, I was holding the front of his bike and I was standing in front of him and I said, all right, show me how you'd go to the store. And he went like this. And I went, that's how you'd go to the store. Not really. I got him to move up. He says, well, that's a lot more comfortable. I think being comfortable is one of the most important things. So once I'm comfortable on the bike, my arms are a little bit bent, I then start to look at my lower extremities and think about where I want to be. I've always looked at a tank as a thing that I can utilize to help hold onto the bike. My arms are obviously going to be holding onto the bike up front, but I've always used my legs as well as a way to kind of get myself in and around this tank and be able to use different facets of my body other than just my arms. My legs are the two strongest things in my body. Why not use them? All the way down to my feet and my ankles. My feet and my ankles are probably more active than maybe most guys. When I talk to a lot of the top riders though, they tell me how much they counterbalance their body weight by using their feet and their ankles. I was very fortunate that my dad taught me a lot of this stuff when I was very young. But these frame guards that you see down here, they're something that I can also dig my heel into. So when I'm going to the left, I'll have a little bit of an angle in my foot here to be able to kind of dig my heel into that. And my upper or my lower body, as far as my hips and my pelvis and things, they just simply just rotate around. Something very simple like this. I'm not a guy that disconnects a lot. I don't get my lower or my inside knee, whichever direction I'm going, and really have a big disconnection. I like to be a little bit more connected to the bike, and then I just let my leg kind of fall into the place it needs to be in. So my inside leg, when I'm going through a left-hand corner in this particular case, I always like to keep the balls of my feet on the foot pegs. I don't like to have my foot compromised at all, because for me, when I start to get into a corner, I want to feel that stability underneath me. I want to build a good base through these foot pegs. So allowing my inside foot to always be on the ball of the foot peg, I can still do plenty of things with my knee. I can still get off the bike the way I want it, but I can also use this as a way, the second I roll the throttle on, when I get to the apex of a corner, I'm like everybody else. I want to get the gas on as early as I can. I want to get the bike picked up off the edge of the tire. Being able to take my foot, my inside foot, and just turn it this way is another way for me to counter my weight going forward, so I don't have to just totally hold onto the bars. Anybody that's ever got into a little tank slapper when they've started to roll the throttle on is usually trying to pull themselves forward, throttle's going on, all the weight's going back, and then they start to lose a little stability with the front of the bike. So they get these little head shakes. We get that a lot here at Chuckwalla because of the kind of corners that come onto this front straightaway. You're kind of coming out of a right onto a left, or vice versa, coming out of a left onto a right. And we see a lot of people get these head shakes. By utilizing my lower body to stabilize and get myself a little bit more of a better base, that allows me to keep my weight a little bit more forward. I mentioned earlier I don't ever like to see people's arms fully extended. And one of the things I notice is that when we start to hang off a bike a long way, if our arms get extended, my arm automatically becomes a lever now, so I have to pull myself back up onto the bike. I've never been a guy that likes to pull on my bars very, very much. I like to try to stay as relaxed on them as I can. So my arms are always gonna have a little bit of a bend in them. I'm never gonna have it to where my arm is extended. I love my forearm to sometimes just be able to rest on the tank, and I think you can tell a lot of people, if you get into long corners, if you get into turns, turn 2 at Willow Springs comes to mind for me. That's where I really learned and played a lot with body position, because I was in that corner for so long. And I started to realize the different parts of my body that were tense, and I would try to get those parts relaxed. My bike works so much better when I'm relaxed as a rider on top of it. The thing with body position I think that you have to individualize is that you're gonna get people anywhere from 5'2" to 6'4". You're gonna get people from 12 years old that I get to work with up to 65 years old. You can't put everybody in the exact same position. So I think body position is a very individual thing. But I think if you base it off of the few things that we talked about, between comfort, efficiency, and loading. Loading the bike for me was something that came really late, not late, but when I was younger, I rode tons of tracks. And when I started to understand how to load a tire, it really benefited me. I think that for many of us, we watch what these guys do, especially in MotoGP, Moto2. I'm as big a fan as anybody when it comes to that, but you gotta remember they're different bikes than what we're riding on the daily. Nobody here today is gonna be on a MotoGP bike or a Moto2 bike, something with as stiff as a chassis as those things have. Some of the things that you're gonna see your heroes do are gonna be a little bit different than what you're gonna be doing on your standard road bike or even your track day bike. I did an article about 3 or 4 years ago where I talked about how Johnny Ray rides and how Josh Hayes rides, Cameron Beaubier. If you watch where they're sitting in the bike, their movements are in this range, okay? So they're gonna be going from here to here. They're not from here to here. And a lot of that is because of the bikes that they're on, the efficiency in which they ride, and they wanna make things as simple as they can. All 3 of those guys are great champions, as we know, and I've kind of tempered my riding along with what they did. And I think too, riding in endurance races and understanding that if I was going to be on the bike for an hour, I wanted to be as simple, stable, and efficient as I could to not exert too much energy. So I hope this helps, and thanks for letting me be part of it.
Thanks, Jason. So just a quick question.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that not everybody needs to look like Mark Marquez and drag their elbow, huh?
Yeah, the thing is I have found that when it comes to lean angles and stuff, when you look at even what he does, it's 64 degrees at lean. It looks like he's hanging off the bike a long way, but he's just simply to the inside of the bike where you need to be. As my speeds progress, I ride around all the time out here, doing a lot of schooling and teaching with people. There's never any real reason for me to be hanging off a long way because of my speed. I really believe that speed is going to be another facet to this that comes into play when it comes into your body position. You've seen it, I've seen it, where people don't have that much lean angle, but they're hanging off the bike as far as they can. Yep. And really, it's a lot harder to do that when you don't have the physics and the forces that you need to be able to make the bike lean as much as you can. You're overexerting energy. Right. And so I try to get a lot of people back into the seat a little bit, and then once they start to understand lean angle and how it works, then you can start to play with what they're going to do with their body positions mid-corner to the exit of the corner as far as standing the bike up off the edge. So yeah, you're right. Not everybody has to look like Mark Marquez.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much, Jason, and really appreciate having him on my channel. It's just awesome. And so if you're interested, check out my other videos. Also, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. We'll post this up on my YouTube. We'll probably put it on Jason's social media stuff as well. And again, thanks a lot, Jason.
Thanks,
really
Stu.
appreciate
Thank you so much.
All right, so thanks a lot for watching Stu Man Rides, and we really want to pay a big thanks to Jason Pridmore for helping me out with this video. I really appreciate it. You should go and check out jp43training.com. Yeah, jp43training.com. You can sign up to get like basically one-on-one training with him and his instructors. He's got a bunch of fantastic instructors at the school, and obviously Jason's very knowledgeable and can help you go faster if that's what you're looking to do. So again, thanks a lot for watching Stu Man Rides. Thank you very much to Jason Pridmore for helping me out with this video. And if you like this kind of content, if you're looking to try and learn how to ride a little bit better, subscribe to my channel. I'm producing videos on a fairly regular basis now. So yeah, check it out.